Hey team, next I'll take you through how to do a draw on stroke and fill animation. Create a new composition. I'm going to name mine trim paths. Again, create some text and format it as you like. Once you're happy with your text, right click the layer. Go to the create option and select create shapes from text. Select the new shape layer that has been created and make sure that you have the selection tool selected. We're going to turn the fill off for this shape. So click on the word fill and choose this none option so that we have no fill for the shape. Next we'll choose a stroke color for our shape and we'll set the width to 5 pixels. After that we'll drop down the options for this shape layer as well as its contents, which will reveal all of the letters underneath this shape layer. Select all of these letters and then come over to this add option to add a trim paths to each of these shapes. Head up to the search bar at the top of the layers panel and we'll search for the end value. With all our end values still selected, we'll change this first end value to 0, which should change all of our end values to 0. We'll set a keyframe with our playhead at the start of the timeline. Next we'll jump forward to the 1 second mark and we'll change our end value to 100%. Again, since all our trim paths are selected, this should change all of our trim paths. We'll now create a 5-frame offset between each of these letters' trim paths values. So we'll select all the keyframes for the trim paths except for the first letter. Hold down the Alt key and press right 5 times. This will shift all of the keyframes 5 frames later into the animation. We'll next select all the keyframes for the other 2 letters, but not the first 2. Do the same thing, holding down the right key and pressing the right arrow 5 times. Finally, we'll do this one more time for the last letter, again holding down the Alt key and pressing the right arrow 5 times to push it 5 frames later in the animation. Next we'll select all these keyframes and we'll change them to Easy Ease keyframes using the F9 key or right clicking, going to Keyframe Assistant and choosing Easy Ease. We can now preview our animation back. Now that we've used the trim paths to animate on the outer stroke, we can use the paint technique from earlier to draw on the fill of our letters. Navigate to wherever your pre-comp is that we created earlier from the Paint On tutorial. I'll now click and drag mine in above my text layer. If we preview the animation, you'll notice that both of the animations are happening over top of each other at the moment. To combat this, we can simply click and drag our pre-composition to the right so that our stroke comes on first and then our fill. Once that's done, we can close up the options for the shape layer to bring back the rest of the space in our layers panel. We can even delete the original text layer to clean up a bit of our layers panel. And that's how I created this animation to draw on the stroke and fill of a piece of text. Thanks team, and I'll catch you on the next one.